Alright, buckle in because this video is going to be, sorry, a little bit longer. It's going to be a little bit more in depth, so I hope you're ready to really kind of see the secrets here. So, have you ever opened your CRM and wondered, where did this lead come from? Well, with this setup, every Zillow, Vulcan, Homes.com, they're all pulled in instantly, they're tagged, and they're followed up with automatically. We've said it enough. There's no double entries, no copy paste. It's just the leads flowing for you. This is how any agent, even ones who are not technical, they can have all of these different things all fully automated into their system. So the Zapier setup is where I actually want to kind of show you guys next of how you can kind of actually bring this all together with the system that I mentioned. It's a back-end integration. It's a third party that's used. Really can be used with almost anything. You can automate almost anything with this. It's really cool. It's kind of in depth, but in our course I do show you absolutely how to walk through step by step every single button click. Now, Zapier is going to bring your system all together, and really it's the bread and butter that sends everything in. So what happens is there's let's say you get an email in, Zapier then what's called parses that email. We use a ChatGPT or OpenAI backend to read that email, pull out all the different data that we need on it, and then it actually sends it to the CRM. Lead connector would be ours that we're using, and with cultivated, tried and proven prompts, we can very easily pull out all the information to make sure it's accurate every single time, and then we send that right to the CRM, and with that we tag each one of them every time, depending on where they came from, and that way it stays organized. It triggers different workflows based on the tags that were brought in. It makes sure that you don't fall into that trap that a CRM is just handed to you. You have no idea how to use it, and it's just all over the place. So, for example, if we do a lot of expireds, and this would start our blast follow-up that if it's a new buyer lead, it's going to kick off our welcome workflow on that. So what is the secret sauce that I mentioned? This is Vulcan 7. This is where the magic happens of tapping into untapped territory, untouched territory of potential listings from failed realtors, bad marketing strategies, and sellers who just don't know who to trust anymore. So by providing the industry's most reliable and thorough contact data for seller leads, Vulcan 7 actually paves the way for agents to completely transform their business to become highly successful. Now, you've seen the tech. Let's hear from one of our realtors who actually built this entire system and is using it real life to hit the phones, close expireds, and build momentum fast. I pulled actually one of his quotes from an interview that he had talking on this success, and so here's just kind of a snippet. I downloaded one of Brandon's scripts. It's like 5 or 6 step process. I text, I follow up, I run numbers. It's just that's how I'm getting deals from Vulcan. Texting is just what works. No one picks up the phone anymore, but almost everyone's open to text. So this is exactly the kind of outreach that our system automates for you. And this was pulled directly from Carney's interview. He did an interview direct with Vulcan 7. They saw the success he was having with the platform, and they want to bring him on to do a podcast with them. And you can actually get the best and discounted version of Vulcan using our link below. It's mixed with our automation platform. You can become unstoppable and the ideal lazy agent that truly we all want to become. So let's talk about how Carney gets expired listings. And well, actually, let's take a step back. So the ideal lazy agent that I mentioned, we're talking about automating Vulcan leads right into your system. So every time new ones hit their platform, it automatically comes to your CRM. Automate the texts that go out to them. Automate getting new listings each week from those texts. Automate closing those listings with the transaction coordinator checklist that we mentioned to make sure that everything moves forward. You just check off boxes, make sure that it's all done. and then automate your commission checks right to your bank account, so you can close more listings and spend less time doing it. So how Carney actually gets these expired listings, let's kind of talk about what our client is doing to become the top producing agent in under 6 months from basically a niche that not many people focus on, and it's very forgotten about. So direct outreach, texting, and cold calling. Carney says, I actually spend a lot of my time texting and have a lot of success with that. I also make cold calls. He said this in his interview, and because he leans so heavily on texting, noting that people in 2025 are far more responsive to text than unknown numbers. I know I don't answer any number that isn't already in my contact list. If you don't leave a voicemail, there's no chance you're getting a call back either. So he adapts based on how the leads react and leads with an SMS approach. And then, curtails changes as he's getting responses. So he uses a structured script that helps extract key info from sellers that walks them down a lead qualification and pitch path, pulling on their exact pain points. We provide all of these scripts in the full Realtor System Blueprint course that we put together for you. As I mentioned, over 150 pages walking you through every single step of the process, giving you all the scripts, all the text swipe files, everything that he uses. A lot of it is backed on this neuro-linguistic programming, which is basically how people, how the best manipulators kind of use words to, get what they want. It's a very, very common sales technique to learn and understand human psychology with. So, as Carney mentioned in his interview, he says you take them through the initial process, run some numbers for them, and schedule a follow-up call to take them through what you can do. He doesn't expect to close on the first contact. Instead, he sets expectations and uses follow-up to convert. And this is where the systemized approach really shines. And as you can see, and I'm sure you've experienced, you can try calling 1 or 2 times. Most sales happen after the 7th touch. For cold leads, it's truly the 21st touch. So manually doing that all the time is too time consuming to really scale business. Now, the method of manual but structured outreach system is what Carney grew off of. And this is what our automation was built to replicate and scale. Text first, follow up like clockwork, and use strategic scripting for trigger conversations. Now, one of the main gold nuggets that we're using, we're sending this text to basically brand new leads that have never heard our name before. Hey, was just reaching out on your property on blank. Did you end up accepting an offer? Super short and sweet. For someone that's not expecting a text about it, you get a lot of no's, but when it's automated, you can get a lot of yeses. Or I'm sorry, I said that backwards. You get a lot of yeses or not listing it any longer, which opens up the conversation, and you still get a lot of no's. And when you automate it, those no's, they pile up. They haven't accepted anything. It's no longer on the market. They have a bad experience with their past realtor, and that's where you can step in to bring new marketing ways, new ways to actually list their properties to truly get them sold, new ways that we use to remarket to other realtors to that are focused on buyers agents, when we focus more on the listing side. So basically what happens, a text blast goes out to the contact tag, and then it splits based on the AI filtering into hot, nurture, dead, whatever it be, like I showed you in that last workflow, how it filters it all out. Now, I do need to preface, so how this works, it's kind of a reality check. So if you're sending mass text, especially using tools like this, there's something called an A2P 10DLC registration. So this is a carrier level compliance system required by AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, etc. It's basically a business ID check for SMS. If you're not registered, your messages can get blocked or even flagged as spam. Now, we don't condone unauthorized messaging, and if you do choose to use these tools, you're accepting the risks associated. Now, that being said, it is easy to be approved for this. If you have an LLC, it's it's super simple. If you have an EIN number, you can get approved in 2 to 3 days. So if you are legit, sending text to real leads that come through Zillow, Vulcan, Realtor, whatever, we can help you get approved fast. We've walked dozens of agents through this. Our average approval time is 2 to 3 days. Once you're A2P registered, you can send text to inbound, opted-in leads with much higher deliverability, fewer headaches, and you have no worry of any repercussions at this rate. So it is a tedious process if you do it alone. Lots of people do it and spend weeks doing it because they don't know what the carriers want to see on the application. But we have templates that we can either do it for you or we can give you the templates, whichever. But we've got it down to an exact science of exactly what they want to see. So use it however you want. Follow-ups, appointment reminders, check-ins from opted-in leads, completely compliant. Now, just keep it clean, don't abuse it, and this can be one of the most profitable tools. Now, if you want us to walk you through the ATP registration or just do it for you, reach out, choose the done for you setup below. Now, you can, of course, use this for anything you want once it's set up. Just be aware that the potential risks, what I've seen is, if you're sending a couple hundred or a couple thousand texts per month, you most likely won't see any complications. Now, what I've heard of adverse effects is when some of my buddies are sending millions of texts at that volume, you're bound to have a few people try and pursue. Now, all that looks like is if they pursue, it's basically a $1,500 fine one time for each person that pursues against you. But at that volume, if it's profitable, it very well may be worth the risk. So use it at your own risk. If it makes sense, I'm not condoning it, but whatever you see fit for your business. So we've walked you through how the system works, but let's just zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about automation. It's about what your business and your life looks like when the busy work disappears. This is the back-end engine that makes the whole system run. If you're thinking this is great, but I don't want to set this all up myself, I get it. This is where our done-for-you build-out comes in. Everything you've seen installed, customized, and launched in days for you. We do some calls with you to build it all so that it's exactly how you want it, show you how to use it, train you on it. But maybe you want the whole playbook and you're not ready to commit to a full done-for-you option. You get everything you've seen here discussed in great detail, templated, waiting inside the full course. It's basically the intro offer. You get it all, do it all yourself, and that's great. Lastly, if you do want a jump start, you can get what's called a full over-the-shoulder course, like I mentioned, to hold your hand every step of the way, plus our snapshot. So what that means is our entire system, copy and pasted for you to have. You get everything I showed you, all the workflows. You copy it and you put it right into your own, and then you get the course to teach you how to use it. It's already all built, and in a weekend you could be up and running full speed. So basically, now's the time to choose your path. Do you want the course walkthrough? Do you want the snapshot and course walkthrough, or do you want the full done-for-you setup? Whatever it is, happy to help out. If you have any questions, you can send us a message below. We'll have our chat bot on here as well. So anything you need, happy to help, and hope to give you a few pointers here to maybe get a few new listings this month. Good luck.